All right, folks, Ripple just flipped the switch. I don't know what got into Brad Garlinghouse other than ever since he's left XRP Vegas and he got to shake hands and take some pictures with the XRP army. He's just been sending it into overdrive lately with the partnerships, with the deals. He left XRP Vegas. He went to Dubai. They opened up a new headquarters there. Yesterday, we just covered the fact that there was a massive deal that they just achieved, acquiring Medico, a custody-based company out of Switzerland. So where all the elites are keeping their money and wealth at over there in Switzerland, that is where Ripple is now delving into, and they're opening up that business there. Medico expanding into crypto custody solutions, and they will also be helping them tokenize the internet of value. And then today we get another deal announced working with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. So I don't know what got into Brad Garlinghouse. Maybe he got around the XRP army and he felt our energy. I'm obviously just making jokes of that. Nothing can stop Ripple and what they are doing with XRP, and I've said this for years, as we watch them continue to build out their partnerships in the midst of this lawsuit. But now as we approach the end, right, we're getting so close. The way that Brad is speaking so boldly about winning this case and expanding outside the United States and saying, you know, the reason why we're having to do this is because we don't have clarity here in the US, so we're just going to fire it up. We're going to spend $200 million fighting the SEC in the lawsuit. We're going to go spend $250 million acquiring Medico, and then we get a report today confirming that they're still sitting on over $1 billion cash to go deploy towards growth. So let's get right into it, folks. Big update here. We got the cryptocurrency space. Everything is down besides XRP. 26,800 for your Bitcoin, 1808 for your Ethereum, and XRP is up to 46 cents right now. Let's take a quick look at the sticks. XRP briefly going up here to 47 cents. You guys see a little pump action back in it for XRP. We're watching this thing closely. Let's get right into the update, folks. Check it out. So to start off, we have the Biden administration is pushing for a freeze of U.S. bank withdrawals amid the decline in M2 money supply. So Mr. Biden weighing his options for stopping people's ability to withdraw their money. And if you want to talk about inspiring a bank run, this is how you do it. By signaling this, that you're pushing for a freeze of U.S. bank withdrawals, not only are you going to be forcing a bank run, because people are going to be panicked, but just like all the other BRICS nations, you're going to get people that are just going to ditch the dollar flat out. Not only are they going to get their money out, but then they're going to go get an asset that can't be frozen. Right? And that's why we have our precious metals. That's why we have cash on the sidelines. That's why we have options like this. You can't freeze this account. The bank app don't need to be working. Doesn't matter what Mr. Biden's opinion is of this precious little metal in our pocket. He can't freeze it. He can't stop it. And that's why we keep our options open. Now, on the other end, we got one of the good guys, Tom Emmer, introducing a bill today, the Securities Clarity Act with Representative Darren Soto. This bill clarifies the regulatory classification of digital assets and provides market certainty for innovators and clear jurisdictional boundaries for regulators. This is the smartest approach we have seen to provide clarity about how securities law applies to digital assets. We applaud Representative Emmer for his continued leadership on policy affecting cryptocurrency. And that is from Jerry Brito. Okay. Without a distinction between the asset and the securities contract, token projects that raise capital to fund development cannot move out of the securities framework once the project is decentralized, which hinders the utility of the project and ultimately harms token holders. The Securities Clarity Act inserts a key term, the investment contract asset, into existing securities law to enable crypto projects to reach their full potential in a compliant way, allowing the United States to compete globally in this next iteration of the internet. And that's what we like to see. And Tom Emmer says, we appreciate the broad community support on this legislation from the Coin Center, Blockchain Association, Digital Chamber of Commerce, and the Crypto Council. And this is what we need. Public-private partnerships. Let's work together and allow projects to come into compliance, right? Follow some rules. Let's lay them down. Tom Emmer, one of the good guys, and they also did vote on the stablecoin bill that was also taking place here today as well. So we're finally starting to get some action here in the United States. But Brad, Ripple, team, we're not waiting around. We're getting a little impatient. And so we're starting to make big investments, $250 million acquisition of Medico, just announced yesterday, and delving deeper in doubling down on the investments that they're making into The U.S. has made crypto rules as confusing as possible, says Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple. And that's why we're so focused on growth opportunities outside the U.S. Hi, Medico, and that's the company from Switzerland they acquired yesterday, $250 million, crypto custody and tokenizing the Internet of Value. Now let's listen in on what Brad has to say, folks.
Given the fact that there's a lot of caution out there in the investor community after a number of high-profile collapses in the crypto world, by getting in on the infrastructure more, are you trying to iron out some of the risk and volatility that's associated with this sector?
Well, I think at its core, this is a bet about the long-term view of where digital assets and blockchain technologies are going to change how financial institutions manage and certainly transact. At the core, we think there's going to be a lot of examples where through tokenization, you're going to see assets that we think about trading today that are tokenized. And institutions need to think about how they store digital assets today, known as cryptocurrencies, but also those tokens of the future. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink talked about this being a multi-trillion-dollar asset business, and we think it's going to continue to grow. It's a great fit for us because it's really where Ripple has been throughout our history of focusing on infrastructure and solving real problems for real customers.
A few years ago, back in 2020, you had a bit of a run-in with the SEC. Medico is based in Switzerland. It's got non-US employees, as far as I know. Was that part of the appeal, given that US regulators are cracking down more and more on cryptocurrency companies?
Well, look, I think it's fair to say that the U.S. has made it as confusing as possible as to what the rules of the road are for the crypto industry. And frankly, it's why you're seeing entrepreneurship and investment flowing into other jurisdictions. Certainly, Europe has been a significant beneficiary of the confusion that has existed in the United States. And yes, as you described, the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission has really been at the forefront of that confusion. And unfortunately, that has encouraged companies like Ripple to invest more outside of the United States. About 95% of our customers are non-U.S. And this year, most of our hiring will be non-U.S. for some of those exact same reasons. Ripple, prior to this acquisition, we have about 800 employees. Medico has about 100 employees, as you described, almost all outside the United States, primarily in and around Europe. So we think it's a perfect fit, both from the type of customer, where we're trying to grow, where our customers are today. And so we're certainly very excited about it.
Brad, what should the post-FTX regulatory framework then look like for cryptos and governing cryptos?
I think it's a really important question because I think we conflate what happened with FTX as a crypto problem. And really, look, from my point of view, at its core, what happened with FTX is called a fraud. And frauds happen in lots of different, unfortunately, asset classes. It's not, unfortunately, specific to crypto. But when I talk about providing clarity and rules of the road, the rules of the road for FTX were clear. They just broke those rules. The challenge here in the United States, where Europe really has provided leadership, and countries like UAE, certainly the growth you're seeing in Dubai, but even the UK and Singapore, they're providing the clarity about how they will regulate these digital assets. And that allows, through those rules of the road, that allows entrepreneurs, that allows investors to go engage constructively with regulators. And again, the reason why Medico has been such a perfect fit for Ripple is from its beginning, it's been focused on infrastructure, enterprise, and working with the regulators. These are all regulated entities. That's true of Ripple's customers today, and the reason that we think Medico is such a perfect fit, we're willing to pay $250 million, was because they also have that same DNA and that same ethos of focusing on an enterprise customer, working with regulators, and really being very global from the start.
Now, SEC who? Bear market what? What recession are you talking about? $200 million on the lawsuit, $250 million on the purchase of Medico, and we still got $1 billion to deploy, folks. Check it out. Now, he just said The Ripple is sitting at about 800 employees right now. Medico has 100. So Ripple just continues to double down. They're still hiring for across the board, all positions. They just swooped 100 employees. And this is another aspect, like he said, infrastructure that Ripple is investing in. And it's so important here, folks. Now, this is on the news that we get here today. Ripple to showcase real estate asset tokenization solution as part of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority's inaugural EHKD pilot program. Innovative solution combining the EHKD, tokenized real estate, and lending protocols will run Ripple's CBDC platform. Now, Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, announced today that it has been selected to showcase a real estate asset tokenization solution as part of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority's inaugural EHKD pilot program. The HKMA has adopted a three-rail approach to prepare for the possible rollout of the EHKD. As a leading provider offering real-world asset tokenization capabilities, Ripple, alongside its partners including Fubon Bank, one of the largest commercial banks in Taiwan, will demonstrate its use case under EHKD pilot program, which will focus on real estate asset tokenization and equity release, leveraging the EHKD. EHKD pilot program will see a series of pilots conducted with various industry players to gain in-depth research into the application, implementation, and design issues related to the EHKD. Now, for those of you guys that don't remember, right, this is absolutely massive. We got a quick flashback shared here by Digital Asset Investor. Now, you guys remember this one. Those of you who have been here for a while, Mr. Brad Garlinghouse with Christine Lagarde in the room. Let me zoom in on this picture for you guys. Take a look here. The director of monetary markets at the IMF, down the table from the chairman, Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, and right next to him, the chief executive of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority and the SNB, that's the Swiss National Bank, BNS, and Christine Lagarde watching and listening closely. So these deals go back for years, right? And now you're starting to see them come to fruition. Like I said, Ripple just flipped the switch. Everybody's waiting for that flip of the switch moment, and they think that it's going to be reflected in an XRP price. Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, you're seeing the pilots and the acknowledgments that the deals are underway, that the deals have been done, the tests are now being conducted, and the final rollout is coming. Now, by the time the final rollout is here, I expect that we will have moved into a new reality, not just for the XRP community, the cryptocurrency space, but for XRP price as well. I do think that we see price before law, and law is coming rather quickly in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. You guys know that we can get this at any single time, right? But we hone in on this deal, and it says, the light shines in the darkness, Matthew LNIY. He is a must follow on Twitter, incredible researcher. That this partnership involves 16 banks and payment providers, okay? And what they're doing here is they say this. Meanwhile, today Ripple announced its Ripple CBDC platform, which uses the same technology as its XRP ledger. So the fudsters and the haters are going to come in and say, oh, they're using the private ledger, the ledger that they forked for central banks that's different from the public XRP ledger. Yes, correct. But what is the underlying bridge currency, the neutral bridge currency, that you need to interact between both of these sides? You need that XRP native neutral bridge currency. It's very simple. So this doesn't take away from the utility of having that neutral bridge asset. It actually increases it. And this is how you get these central banks on board, is you got to give them what they want. You have to give your customer what you want. Any successful business knows that. And what do they want? They want that privacy. They want to be able to hide some of it. They want to be able to keep, a little bit of a walled garden going on. But then at any point, they want to be able to hit that big red button that David Schwartz talked about. You lower the walls and you can interact with the rest of the world with that interoperability. Where does it come from? XRP. So guys, just understand this. Right now, there are dozens of deals with central banks right now, conversations that are happening, different pilots, different tests. And right now, what I'm seeing is a new energy that has appeared in the space here for Ripple XRP, right? So like I said, Brad doesn't care about the SEC games. They go to Dubai, launch a new office. They acquire a new company in Switzerland, $250 million. Oh, and by the way, still sitting on $1 billion cash. Check it out. Right here from Wheezy confirms this once again. Ripple CEO, we have over $1 billion to deploy for growth beyond liquidity. They are not stopping. Okay. And this is all for building out the XRP ecosystem. While the haters and the naysayers say that they're just dumping on us, they don't care about XRP, it couldn't be further from the truth. They invested, remember, what did they do? $200 million? Was it $250 million that they did on their NFT fund? I mean, golly, every time we turn around, they're spending $200 million plus dollars. $200 million fighting the SEC lawsuit, $250 million NFT fund, which was the biggest NFT fund at the time when they launched that. Then we see another $250 million on the Swiss, and this is the infrastructure that we need. As the rest of the space is freaking out about Ledger and all these wallets and, oh crap, maybe these aren't my keys, right? Or there are backdoors within these wallets, which I know many people have concerns about that, right? Now you can get the LEPAL Titan wallet by going to my website. We have a link for that one. The LEPAL Titan wallet, another one of these options out here, which that's all I'm a big fan of is options, and I'm waiting to see some better solutions come in down the road. I think that we can do better as a crypto space. We're just early, and I understand why Ledger did what they did. I spoke on this yesterday. They're trying to get mass adoption. They need to make it easy for people to take a picture of their ID, take a video of themselves, KYC, biometrics, and to have that backdoor. That's what the common person needs. Us degens, us crypto nerds that kind of understand this technology, we can figure it out, right? But the average person, to get them to come into crypto, they can't go through all these hurdles. And for people in the third world countries, they can't afford to. Right. So we need to bring solutions. And I think that this Medico deal that Ripple just did is absolutely massive. The deal that we have right here, working on tokenizing real estate, and how can we use that, facilitate this new CBDC with tokenizing, basically every asset that we have here today, from real estate to NFTs to, every market, bonds, derivatives, everything is going to get tokenized, right? And we need that neutral bridge currency to have that interoperability between all of these networks, all of these systems, all of these countries, all of these CBDCs. We have not found a better solution. There is not a better solution. The only other neutral bridge currency that we have is gold, and that's not digital. That's the main problem, and that's why it will never be as liquid as XRP. Gold has its role. You know all about that. If you guys want to get some precious metals, you just head to my website down below. We ship them directly to you, or we roll over your 401k retirement account. We conduct both of that. But what's the problem there? It's not digital. It's not as liquid as XRP. And so this is the perfect combination. As I covered yesterday, we've been covering this for a while now, all the countries going back to gold. Right? All the serious players that want to be respected on the world stage, they're buying more gold than they have in 50 plus years of the central banks, and they are backing their currencies by gold. They're backing their currencies by the commodities that they have, that they produce within their country. What's the final missing piece to all of this is that neutral bridge asset that makes it all interoperable, and that's XRP. And you're seeing that they've got deals going on with dozens of central banks. Right? The deals have been done. I think that now you're starting to see Ripple rolling out with, we're starting to get to the final act. We're not there yet. We're still a long ways away, I actually think. But just remember what we did when we pumped just off those Hinman emails, right? Now we're pumping a little bit again today. While the rest of the space is down, Ripple is entering a new reality. They have flipped the switch. And right now, these are just little switches, one after another, right? Dubai, turn it on. Switzerland, custody, tokenizing everything. Flip it on, please. Thank you very much. Hong Kong Monetary Authority, flip it on, right? And so one after another, Ripple continues. Nothing can stop what is coming, and our time is coming up here soon. Folks, we have very limited time before we meet the final conclusion of this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. My prediction is that we have clarity for secondary market sales. We will be set free, and many people are going to get left behind, and we tried to save them, right? We tried to save them, and you tried by sharing this content far and wide. After you smash that thumbs up, hit the notification bell. You're sharing it far and wide to your friends and family that you care about the most, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. Nothing can stop what is coming for Ripple and XRP.